we got going on here? 4x16 sheet?
4x16 sheet.
Okay, so you just started, we brought up the sheet. What is the first step? What are you doing right now?
First step, you measure the pergola and you get your width, and then you get the half. So this is 16, so you want to come in 8 feet, and then this panel's 4 feet, and you want to measure that to 2 feet to be the center of the panel.
Got it.
That's 2 feet.
All right, so you're measuring that at 2 feet.
2 feet.
Got it.
I got to get this one over here, this back, about that far. I need to slide it over, and then you'll angle yours to adjust. About to pre-drill into one of the channels.
Okay.
You just go through the top. You don't go through the bottom into the wood, you just come through the top.
Got it.
You take the silicone the hole. Get you a washer. Silicone around the washer.
Alright, so we're in. So one 4-foot by 16-foot panel, that's at the 8-foot mark, so right in the middle, right?
Right in the middle.
Alright, and that's screw number 1. So now, what's the next step after this?
We just, you put 2 more screws here.
Yep.
So the panel won't shift as you're moving on it.
1 in the middle and 2 on the outside. So
2 on the outside.
You know, about every 16 inches or whatnot.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Alright, so we're down here on the other side. 1 screw on this side. Now what are you doing on the other side? Same thing?
Same.
Right in the middle?
Same thing, right in the middle. You want to measure the panel to the middle. It's a 4-foot panel, so you want to get 2 feet, mark it,
Yep.
and you get it to your mark that's on the wood, and it lines up perfectly.
So measuring it too, because we're at 16 by 16.
And now you see
Screw
how
in right there.
it's flush now.
Yeah. So we've got 1 screw hole down there. Got it.
2 more screws on the back side so the panel won't adjust. It won't move at all. It'll stay in place.
Got it.
You never want to tighten it too far down because it'll bend the plastic and eventually it'll crack it. So you want to get it just snug. All right, so this is a 16 by 16 pergola. We just put a 4-foot panel in the middle. We measured.
These sheets come in 4 and 6?
They come in 4 and 6.
Wide?
4 and 6 inches or feet wide, and you can buy them up to 12 feet long, 14, 16, and then it goes to 24, I believe.
Okay.
What we did is we measured into the middle of the pergola, which is 8 feet. It comes all the way down, and we measure into the middle of the panel, which is 2 feet on a 4-foot panel, and we mark the ends. And now we're going to put the connector caps on the seams. We'll put them on each side, and it gives us about an inch space over. So you'll eventually have to rip one of these 6-foot panels about a ½ an inch off of the panel, and they'll slide right in.
So you've got one 6-foot panel here.
And 1 6-foot panel here.
Got it.
You want to make sure that you have the 4-foot panel, the shortest panel, in the middle. If you put it on the sides, you'll have 2 6-foot panels right next to each other, and then 1 4-foot in the middle, and from a top view, it just looks offset. So if you start with 1 foot in the middle and the 2 6-foot on the sides, it looks completely flush. You want to get them just flush right above the U profile. So when you connect the other panel, that other piece of the U profile connects to this. I do it every 24 inches. Usually I just do it every two 2x4s, and I put it on the 3rd one. I keep this channel pretty snug up against the panel. That way there's no room for air, for wiggle room. When it flexes, it stays in there. And we'll go ahead and put 2 right here because this is the spacing, but that's the end. But I'll put this one on last because I'm going to cut this when I put the top piece on. Okay, the body of the sheet, you don't really need too many screws. So I'm going to take it about 3 2x4s in, which would be about 36 inches. And I'm going to put it here, right down the middle, lined up with the middle screw. And then I'll put another one down there.
Okay, so we've got this panel 4 foot wide by 16 foot. What we want to do is put screws around the perimeter of the structure, all the way around the perimeter of the structure when we get it in every 16 inches, through the body of the sheet every 48 to 60 inches. So we're going to put 3 screws through the body of the sheet here. And the reason being is too many screws is a bad thing. We don't want to over screw, because with expansion contraction, these things can open up over time and you might get some leakage. So you don't want 15 screws through here. 1, 2, 3 through the body is enough. You've got them on the base connector here, and they're gonna snap on, and you're gonna have them around the perimeter. So the key is don't over screw. Every 48 to 60 inches through the body. All right, so panel 1 is done, right?
Done.
Pretty much done. Cap is next. Where's the cap at the end?
I put the front U profile and tape on at the very end.
Okay, so will we snap this cap on top next, or will we slide another sheet in?
We're gonna slide another sheet in.
Got it. We're gonna slide another sheet in here.
Yes, on this side.
We're gonna slide another sheet in on this side. And then we're gonna snap the cap on top. How wide is it right here? It is 1 inch short. It's 72 inches, 73 inches.
72, 73 inches. With the connector cap, it takes about 1 inch off. So you gotta rip the panel 1 inch all the way down.
Okay, so we're gonna trim the 6 foot panel, 72 inches down to 71 inches.
Yes.
Okay, and then how are we gonna cut that? Are we gonna cut that down on the floor, or are we gonna cut it up here?
I'm gonna cut it down there with the sawhorses.
Okay, we're gonna cut it down there. We'll show you guys that. All right, so we're taking the panel down here to the sawhorses, because we're gonna cut this baby 1 inch, trim just 1 inch, right?
Just a trim, a little haircut. So it's a 6 foot panel. You wanna measure both sides, top and bottom, make sure that they're accurate. You do 5'11", because that was my measurement up top. And you come down here.
So literally 1 inch. How easy is it to cut polycarbonate twin wall?
Super easy. With a fine tooth saw blade. Super, super easy.
Okay, so what are we doing here, guys? We have tape here that are going around, what, the flute holes?
The flute holes. It's vent tape, protects from dust and dirt and debris from getting into the flutes.
Okay, got it. So it's just a prevention for dirt and bugs to get up into the middle of that flute and cause havoc, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pretty easy to put on and install and get the U profile around.
Pretty easy, and it's very sticky too, so it stays and it lasts.
Okay, got it. So the vent tape goes on the edges because they're open channels.
Open channels.
So the vent tape goes on, and then you close that up, you tighten it up, and then you put a U profile around that.
Yes, sir.
Got it. All right, so we're gonna do this side with the tape, and then we're gonna do the other side right here, the open tape. You can see these are open channels. Because it's hollow, it's lightweight, it's easy to install, but you're gonna wanna put some tape around the outside so you don't get, debris and bugs. It doesn't take out any of the impact resistant. It's just as impact resistant even though it's hollow, so don't worry about that. Okay, so this is what the panel looks like whenever you're done with one panel. So check it out. So you've got the base connector on one side, then you've got the sheet, and then you have another base connector here. You're leaving about a 1/4 inch gap in between here, and then you see these screws around the perimeter of the structure every 16 inches. We showed you the silicone through the body every 48 to 60 inches, and you can see the screws are going in about every 30 inches through the base channel. Screw, screw, screw. So this is this is what it looks like, absolutely complete one sheet. Now we're about to add another 6 foot sheet. All right, so we're dropping this 6 foot panel right over here.
Now, you always want to make sure the cut side goes into the seams.
Got it. So this is the trimmed side that we trimmed off 1 inch, and that's going into the seam just because it looks better. You know, we let it leave about a 1/4 inch gap in there for expansion, contraction. Perfect. How's it lining up?
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect. Good job. Okay, so now we've gotten the second 6-foot sheet up. There's a 4-foot sheet, 6-foot sheet. What's the next step? Now what do we do?
We're gonna.
What do we do next?
It's already taped on the back side.
Yep.
I'll get the U profile and line it up, and then I'm gonna make it permanent and put another 3 screws in.
So you're gonna put a U, you're gonna take this U profile that we have right here, this U profile, you're gonna add this U profile right here, and then you're gonna do the same thing. 1 screw in the middle, 1 screw here, and 1 screw on the outer side.
Yep.
Got it. All right. So just so you guys know, in a perfect world, this would overhang about an inch. It's a little bit under, but we're gonna work with it. Here's the U profile. And so that U profile has now gone over the sheet with the tape. And so what's next? We're gonna trim this U profile, right?
Just gonna trim this little piece off just so it connects to this one.
Got it. All right, so now that this one's lined up, we're gonna do the same thing. And we're gonna start to screw it in. And again, what we'll always do is we're gonna take a 3/8 bit and we're gonna pre-drill the holes. Right at 36,
Yeah,
because it's a 72-inch long or wide sheet. Again, in a perfect world, this would overhang about an inch right here, but manufacturer was out of those sheets at that length, and so we're just making sure we'll silicone it, or it's got a good amount of slope, so we're gonna be fine.
You never want to screw in dry. You always want to make sure you have silicone in there. Then you silicone around the washer. Silicone in the hole into the channel.
All right, so those 3 are done. So now you can see every 16 inches around the perimeter, or 20 inches or so. 1, 2, 3 screws on that sheet. 1, 2, 3 screws on the 6-foot sheet. And after that, we're gonna go around the perimeter and go through the body. And we'll take on and add another sheet. All right, so we're pre-drilling this one here. Taking off the film on the top side. So the product has film on both sides, on the bottom side and on the top side. The top side is the UV coated side. So this material right here, this top side of this material is UV coated. Usually leave on the film, you know, until the very end, or like in this case, like when we're screwing in through the body close to the very end. You don't want to take off, this film at the very beginning, because if you do, there's a good chance you'll not know what side is UV coated and what side is not. They look exactly the same. Were you videoing the other day when you did that one on top? Were you on your cell phone or did you have a GoPro?
Cell phone.
Slow-mo, or how'd you speed it up like that?
Tricks of the trade, my friend.
Yeah,
You want to know?
I really
It's on
don't.
your phone.
I know, I'm sure it is. I just don't know.
What is it? Time lapse?
Okay, got it. Okay, that makes sense. I need to make sure, and I want to get a GoPro too.
I have one. It's old though, from like 2009 when I was overseas.
Yeah.
I had it on my helmet when we clear houses and stuff.
That's tight.
It's pretty sick. Some cool stuff on there that I thought I couldn't show, but
Just post it all on Precision's website. America. All right, so third one through the body. Now what's next? We're doing perimeter?
perimeter.
Okay, so I'm gonna step back here, and now what we've got here is, so you can see perimeter. Now we're gonna go around the other perimeter right here. We've got the body secure, we've got the base connector, we've got the base connector. Now we do not need a base and a cap connector. We do not need anything on the outside edges, never anything over here, and never anything over here. And we're just gonna go through and we're gonna screw those in right there. All right, so now we're on the front side of this guy and we're running tape. Again, where you can see that it's open. So it's an open flute right there. And you can see the base connector here. So we're gonna tape off the edge, add the U profile, and we will add weep holes through the bottom, so in case there's condensation, it can drain into the gutter that's on the front of this pergola. All right, so we got one panel, 6 foot, one 4-foot panel, and we're about 1 inch long. So we're gonna get down here and we're gonna cut this last 6 foot by 16 foot panel. All right, so now the last 6 foot panel has been cut down, trimmed down 1 inch, and then we'll take it up there and install the last panel. All right, so the last panel is up. 6 foot panel here, 4 foot panel, and then the last 6 foot panel is here. We pre-taped the edge profile on this back side, and now what we're gonna do is we are going to screw it down in the middle. We're gonna fasten it here 3 times. Then we're gonna go around this outside edge right here, and we're gonna fasten it every 16 inches, and then we're gonna go through the body just like these. We're gonna even them out. 1 screw here, 1 screw there, and then 1 screw at the end. Take off the tape, add the connecting top cap, which is the base and the cap connector, and then looks like we'll be almost finished. All right, so now we got the tape. Now we're gonna take the U profile,
Shaped like a U.
shaped like the U, top end in, and we're gonna put that over the edge. So we can put
top, so you know that it's UV protected.
Yep. This is the top side. This is UV protected. That's why we leave this film on last, in order to always know that this is a UV protected side. It also has a film on the other side. It's not the same type of film. It doesn't have any letters on it or any logos. So we're gonna hit this here, and then we're gonna go out and we're gonna make it equal. So it's gonna hit right there. Pre-drill, 3/8, silicone, and screw. So what we're doing here is we're pre-drilling those holes all the way down the edge of the pergola. And we're gonna silicone, washer, and place the screw. Silicone, dab silicone, and then we're gonna place that washer. Dab a silicone, and we're gonna place that washer. Silicone goes in the hole, silicone goes on the washer. When we put the washer in, we're gonna put it every single time you see, boom, 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 one of these holes. Now we're gonna go down and screw it every single time. All right, so now we are going through the body. So we've got 1 through the body, we've got 2 through the body. We're gonna put 3 screws through the body. Just like over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 through the body. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3 screws through the body. This is a 6 foot wide panel. This is a 4 foot wide panel, and this is another 6 foot wide panel. 16 foot long. You can see here the perimeter is done. Every 20 inches around the perimeter, and every 20 inches around the perimeter over on that side. We'll do it again on the front as well. All right, so we're pre-drilling now around the perimeter. Every 20 inches, we're pre-drilling. 1, 2, you can see it on both sides, every 20 inches or so. 3 through each body, through the perimeter. Again, every 20 inches, all the way around the perimeter and then through the body. Now, silicone and the washer. And the screw. Silicone, screw, washer, pre-drill, silicone, washer, then the screw. So we got 1, 2, 3 screws through the 6-foot sheet. 1, 2, 3 around the perimeter through the 4-foot. And now 1, 2, and now we're gonna get our second screw in right now, and then finally the third screw around the perimeter. And all the screws will be completed, and then we snap the cap on. After the cap is snuck on, we're done. All right, so now what we are doing here is we are placing the U profile on the front side, just like we did on the back side. So there's tape, and the U profile pops into the top. A little bit of the overhang falls right into the gutter. And you can cut these pretty easily. We're cutting it with a skill saw with this bunch of teeth. And then you'll slide it on, and weep holes in the bottom are always the best to let out condensation. But yeah, so we're gonna go here and take the U profile along the front edge.
These gutters, man, bring these things to life.
I know, I love them. All right, so we're gonna cut this the length of the panel, and we're gonna place the U over it, and make sure that that it's snug when each U profile touches the other U profile. So again, in a perfect world, this extends out about 1 inch beyond, but again, we were working with a little bit of a short sheet and we couldn't wait 2 months. So we're installing it's a little bit short right here. It should overhang about a 1 inch right here, but we're sitting in the U profile now. The U profile's snapping into that sheet and on the 4-foot sheet. All right, so everything is in now. Now we've got the cap connector. So here is the cap connector. This is what the cap looks like. Here's the base. It's an H channel. And so now we're gonna snap on the cap, and we're gonna show you exactly how to do that. So go ahead. Here's a shot. How do we connect the sheets? There it goes. Boom, and we're in. And all we do is run it along. And Shane's over here doing the second one. Use your hand if you want to break your hand. Use a rubber mallet if you want. Some people use their feet. You can see how they just snap in. Once you get it on in the beginning, they just snap right in. Done. And then we trim the sides. We trim that side right there and we're done. Trim it with a skill saw right there. And we are done. 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 Watch right here. This one kind of came up. So this goes down. See my foot snapping. And we're in. And we're going to take this and we're going to trim it right here. So you've got your U profile, you've got your other U profile, you've got your sheet, the base is underneath, and then we're gonna trim that cap right on top. All right, now we got the last one to trim, and this job is complete. U profile, base underneath, cap on top, sheets there, that is a good seam, and that is connected. We've got ourselves a great slope on this thing, and you can walk up the seam if you want to make sure it's tight, but it's tight. And now we're gonna get a rag. We're gonna kind of wash it off, and it's done, man. All right, pergola cover. I'm here with Shane, Precision Outdoor. Shane, how many of these pergola covers have you installed in the last year?
About over 100, I would say.
Okay, 100. So what do your customers say about this material, and what do you think about this material?
The customers love it. I think it's great. It's got a 10-year warranty on it. It's hail resistant. It makes it 15 degrees cooler underneath versus if you just have a bare pergola.
Got it. And when the customers come out, do they ever notice a difference, like when you're out here like on the job after you've installed it? What are they excited about?
They're excited that just the amount of shade that it gives and how cooler it is actually underneath than it is versus standing out in just the open of the sun.
Now, as a contractor, you install it. Is it, you know, how hard is it to install?
It's super easy. It's super easy.
Really? So how long, this is like a 16 by 16. How long did this take you?
3 hours.
Okay, so 3 hours to do a 16 by 16. Now you've done a lot. Was it hard at the beginning?
At the beginning, it wasn't very hard. It's just learning the steps and getting the steps down properly.
Got it. Okay, cool, man. Well, yeah, Precision Outdoor, you guys are awesome. And this is a beautiful pergola right here in Dallas County.
Thanks for stopping by.